Racing has always been full of excitement and unexpected moments, but there are some events and personalities that make it even more special. One of those moments happened recently at the Bristol Motor Speedway. It was one of those nights where things just clicked, and it felt like everyone involved was having a great time. Even the drivers seemed to let go and have some fun with each other, which doesn't happen often at this level. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the focus of much of the night, even though he didn't win the race. He wasn't even close to winning, but it was clear that his presence was more than enough to make the night memorable. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a huge name in racing, and even though he's no longer racing full-time, his appearances still create a buzz. It's like fans and other drivers alike can't help but smile when Dale Jr.'s on the track. At the start of the night, many people weren't sure how things would go. After all, it's not every day that a retired driver comes back to race, even if it's just for fun. But as soon as Dale Jr. got out there, you could feel the atmosphere change. It was like the entire event took on a different energy. There's something about seeing one of the sport's most beloved drivers back in action that makes everything feel more exciting. It's like going back in time to when Dale Jr. was a regular on the track, competing at the highest level. But this time it felt more relaxed. Maybe it's because the stakes weren't as high for him. He didn't have to worry about points or championships. He was just out there to have fun and race. One of the funniest moments of the night was when Dale Jr. lost his glasses during the race. Can you imagine that? A professional driver losing his glasses while racing. It sounds like something straight out of a comedy show, but it actually happened. And instead of getting upset or worried, Dale Jr. just laughed it off. He even made jokes about it later on. The whole situation made everyone feel more relaxed. It was like, for one night, racing didn't have to be so serious. It could just be fun. After all, isn't that why most people get into racing in the first place? The love of driving fast, competing, and having fun with friends and rivals. Dale Jr. reminded everyone of just that. During the race, there was also some fun moments between Dale Jr. and Martin Truex Jr.'s brother. Before the race, they hadn't spoken much because they both knew they would have to race hard against each other. And sure enough, when the race started, they didn't hold back.
He made me work for it, and I made him work for it. I knew when he was behind me, he was probably just like, damn it, this 20 car will not get out of my way. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not just going to give it to you. I know everybody loves you, and I love you too, but it was fun to race him hard, and obviously he races with respect. I said, I'm not just going to give it to you, and he's like, I know, I didn't expect it. He said he had fun racing with me, so I'm glad, because I saw him at Martin's at the catwalk Wednesday night, and Dale was like, you know, we can't talk to each other, because if we start chumming it up, we're going to end up wrecking each other on the track. It's always how it goes. I told him at the catwalk, like, all right, I'm not going to talk to you at all before the race. I didn't talk to him at pre-race, didn't talk to him at driver intros. I didn't talk to anybody, because I just didn't want to be involved with anything.
After the race, they both laughed about it. It was another reminder that while racing is competitive, it's also about respect and having a good time. He finished 7th, which is impressive considering he's no longer racing full-time. But it wasn't about where he finished. It was about how he made everyone feel. The whole night felt like a throwback to the good old days of racing, where personalities like Dale Jr. brought the sport to life. It's not every day that you see a driver who can lose his glasses during a race and still have everyone talking about him afterward. But that's just who Dale Jr. is. He's a fun, laid-back guy who loves racing, and that's why so many people love him. The night wasn't just about Dale Jr., though. There were other drivers who had their moments, too. One of them was Shane Van Gisbergen, a driver known for his skill and competitive nature. After the race, Shane made a joke about Dale Jr. being old and needing help getting out of his car. It was all in good fun, and Dale Jr. laughed along with everyone else. It's rare to see a race where everyone seems to be in such a good mood. Usually, racing is all about pressure and winning, but for one night it felt like everyone just relaxed and had a good time. Maybe it was because of Dale Jr., or maybe it was just one of those nights where everything falls into place. Either way, it was a reminder of what racing can be. It doesn't always have to be about winning at all costs. Sometimes it's just about getting out there, having fun, and putting on a show for the fans. Dale Jr. said after the race that he might do it again. He didn't make any promises, but just the thought of him racing again is enough to get the fans excited.
You told the guys on the radio, we'll do this again in a few years, so this might not be the last one?
No, I mean, the thing is like, I've been doing this with Hellman's and Unilever, great partner. Been doing this, well, I'll run one race and they'll do about, 6 or 8 races on the 7. Next year they said, hey, we're gonna do the races, don't need you to run. I said, man, I just might sit out intentionally. I gotta work on my broadcasting, new partners and all that, so I wanna be great. Been missing you guys at NBC and the CW and all that, so I feel like I need to really focus on that. That's really the priority, so I want to do well in the booth, and maybe I'll get back in this thing. I'm sure I'll miss it and probably end up signing up for something in 26.
Dale Jr. had quite an eventful race during his recent interview. One of the things he talked about was the radio issues that occurred early in the race. As the laps were starting, Dale's radio stopped working.
Probably the radio issues. We had a radio harness or something went out under the pace laps and didn't have a radio for about 50 laps. Swapped out the earplugs, still didn't work. Swapped out the helmet, still didn't work. So probably ran about 100, 120 laps without really much communication with TJ. And finally they stuck a radio with a short harness in it and a button I could clip to my chest. And I could hear them and talk back under caution. But it worked out, and we didn't lose any lap or anything, so just as frustrating as that is, it was important not to give up and lose a lap or anything, and try to salvage what we could, because we had a top 10, top 5 car, and I'm glad we were able to get a good result.
Driving without a spotter for a long period is difficult for any driver, but Dale was able to rely on his past experience at the track.
Well, I've been around here enough. I kind of knew where I needed to be, and I kind of could tell where I was going to be clear and not clear. And I was in the back, so it's kind of easier doing it there. If I'd been on a restart, lining up in the front 3 or 4 rows, that'd have been tough. But it is what it is. I mean, spotters are so important, very helpful. And I was missing TJ there for a while, but we got it sorted out.
When asked if he ever gets frustrated with these kinds of problems, Dale explained that part of the challenge of not racing regularly is dealing with unexpected issues like this.
Yeah, when you don't run every week, you're going to have these kind of things happen. This car only runs when I drive it. Maybe they need to go race it more and try to work the bugs out. But you just got to kind of remain calm. Everybody's here to help you. No reason to bitch at anybody or raise hell at your pit crew or your crew chief. They're all there to want to fix it. They're the ones that are going to help you fix it. So try to stay calm and try again to get a good result.
In the interview, Dale also talked about his battle with Ryan at the end of the race. He mentioned how loose Ryan's car was, while his own car was tight, meaning it was harder for him to turn in the corners.
I needed him to slow down a little bit. I don't know, he was loose and I was tight, and I almost could get to his right rear and turn forward, but I was worried about jumping the cushion, hitting the fence, but I was getting tight. We dropped the track bar and didn't really need to on that last run. Fun racing him. I was trying to pass him because I knew Martin was watching. And I was like, I bet Martin's pulling for him. So I wanted to beat him so I could rub it into Truex. We're going hunting in a couple weeks.
And that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to give this video a like and also hit that subscribe button for more upcoming content.